Good afternoon and welcome to Real Chicks Rock Presents Real Discussions. I'm your host, Michelle Dawes-Bird, and as always, I'm super excited to be here with you this afternoon. It's a beautiful day here in Atlanta, Georgia. It's sunny, it's Sunday, it's awesome. The temperatures are rising. I think spring is coming sooner than later. It is Women's History Month, right? But we always celebrate women, and we celebrate men too. Anybody that's all about the empowerment of women. And that's what our program and our platform and our brand is all about. We creatively collaborate and connect to raise awareness regarding issues that impact women by way of community service, engagement, public speaking, mentoring, workshops, and the arts. The arts is this media platform that we've been able to use for the past couple of years. It's been so helpful, so insightful, so informative, and it's not going to stop today. Today's topic is unapologetic wealth. I have someone that I met on the new social app Clubhouse. And when I heard her speak, I thought she was just amazing. Her passion, her purpose, and everything that she's about has just been nothing shy than phenomenal. I've been able to talk with her for a 15 or 20-minute chat on a Facebook Live, and she killed it. And I said, I have to have you come back and be on the show. And we're going to talk about, like I said, all about unapologetic wealth. We always want to obtain it. We don't always know how. We don't know what that really means. We don't know where it comes from. We don't know how to access it. And my guest today, I believe, is a vehicle, a conduit to help us understand more about wealth and obtaining it. Without further ado, this is my guest today, Natalie Johnson. Hi, Natalie. How are you?
Hey, I'm well. How are you doing?
I am good. Good to see you. Good to see you. Because what I see is that beautiful picture of yours on Clubhouse, and I hear these words coming out, and now I get a face, and this is phenomenal. So thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Natalie, tell us a little bit about yourself. Just where are you from? Because you're not here in Atlanta. You are based where?
I'm from Mobile, Alabama. I live in Huntsville now.
Okay. And love it. Like Mobile is the place for you. It's doing good things for you.
I mean, you get used to things.
Okay.
I was born in Alabama, so I'm used to it. I have made several attempts to move. They were not fruitful, so I feel like God has something He wants me to do here.
Okay. All right. We'll make it work there. Natalie, tell the people a little bit about your early career. Tell us a little bit about your background.
I've been in finance for almost 6 years. I've always enjoyed money. I have a bachelor's degree in business management from Alabama A&M University. My MBA is from Strayer. And I decided not to become a CPA only because accounting wasn't really my forte. I felt like I wanted to interpret the data more than I wanted to enter the data. So I became a personal banker and later on a loan officer, and eventually moved into being a brokerage associate, which just means that I can help people also assist them with their retirement planning, essentially.
But so I like that key. One of your statements, you said you always liked money.
Yeah, always.
Tell me a little bit more about that. Like, did you have a business as a kid? Like, how did you I just like money.
I did.
What was your business
It's funny
as a
that
kid?
you mentioned that. I definitely did.
What did you do, Natalie?
In Mobile, all the children in public schools have to wear a uniform. I realized as an adult that is not the norm in every school system. But in the Mobile County public school system,
Right.
Every child wears a uniform. So the kids are very incentivized to look different. So I would make keychains that you could clip on your person, bracelets, things like that, where you could have some amount of individuality.
Yeah.
And that was maybe first or second grade. And I was able to convince the local uniform store to let me sell them in his shop.
Wow.
And he didn't even take any of the commission. It was really, really nice of him. It was a black-owned company that has since gone out of business, actually. I think the founder passed away. But yeah, no, I've always liked money. I'm not really sure where people get their trepidation around money, because who doesn't like payday?
Yeah. I think, getting the money is good. We oftentimes don't know what to do with it or how to keep it. That's the thing. And I think this is where you're really good at kind of providing that guidance and giving us some insight. So you've always been involved in finance, and you just always been passionate about it. So tell us about Unapologetic Wealth. Tell us about that. That is your company, your brand. Tell us more about that, Natalie.
Unapologetic Wealth really started as a way to continue my financial literacy ministry because of COVID. So I am used to being out in the community, speaking engagements to the students, on a volunteer basis in public schools, at churches, for nonprofits. And unfortunately, because of the pandemic, most in-person events have ceased.
Right.
And so this was just a way for me to pull together things in a Facebook group in one centralized location where people can still get information. My Facebook page, I had so many strangers following me in attempts to get help financially. And so, I get DMs and messages, and it just wasn't organized. So this was really just a way for me to organize all of the information, put it in one place, start gathering resources and seeing what kind of help people need. Because it's not always me, right? I don't handle if you have IRS problems, tax problems. I don't do credit repair. So I think I really see myself as a kind of a liaison. What kind of issue are you having? And then how can I help? So that's how Unapologetic Wealth got started. And the name actually came from someone in the DMs who were like, I really like your no nonsense approach, the way you're so unapologetic about being successful. And I said,
yeah,
that could work.
Yeah.
So I took it.
You are unapologetic. Tell us a little bit more about that, Natalie. Just kind of set the stage for us. And I want people to get a sense of your passion on our ability to gain wealth. So give us a little bit more background about what your viewpoint is on that.
I think that Black and brown people specifically have a duty to earn more money via a job, starting their own business. We need to do more to get detached from government assistance. We need to do more to not be waiting on the next stimulus package to pass or for unemployment to get bumped up. And I'm not saying that people who fall into these situations are at fault, but fault is not the issue. I think that's what's kept us back so long. We're always trying to blame. It's the government. It's the president. It really doesn't matter whose fault it is if you're poor. What you need is a plan. What you need is a solution, right? Not a scapegoat. And often I meet people who are, I was dealt a bad hand and things weren't fair. And, my favorite rapper is Jay-Z. And he grew up in the Marcy Projects with a single parent and 2 siblings. And I would argue that he grew up poorer than most people. Most people I know did not grow up in the projects. And so if he can become a billionaire without a college degree, without a father in the home, started off selling drugs, I think there's hope for all of us, right? And I really want us to look towards how can I build assets? Right, this is tax time. The average taxpayer is going to get back in excess of $4,000. Over 80% of Americans get a tax refund. So 80% of us are going to be getting an influx of around $4,000 soon. What are you going to do to build an asset with it? Right? We can blame the president. We can blame the government. We can blame the climate change all we want. But in real life, what could you do with that tax refund right now to catapult yourself into wealth? See, that's something that white people aren't doing to us. We're doing it to ourselves. When I go to Lenox Mall and I pass by Tiffany and I pass by Gucci and Fendi, right? It's us in those stores. We're spending a lot of money in Louis Vuitton, and it makes me wonder how much these people have in life insurance coverage.
You just
how much do they have in other assets, right? Because we spend more of our disposable income, Black people, than any other race of person. Yet we have the lowest income of just about any ethnicity. So to me, something's not adding up there. I would just love for us to take more accountability and get fed up with being broke.
Right.
And fed up with being poor and really decide we're going to do something different this year.
So Natalie, share with us, you mentioned life insurance. Mention some other assets. Let's say I'm a person, I filed my taxes, I got $4,000 back. Tell me, what are some of the things that I can do to create an asset? What's in your mind right now? Tell me.
The first thing I would tell that person is to have at least $1,000 in savings. So if that person has no savings, then $1,000 should immediately go into an account that they don't have easy access to, an online high yield savings account with a firm such as Capital One, Discover Bank, Marcus by Goldman Sachs, or Ally. And I choose those banks because they have no fees and because they don't have a lot of branches. So I do not encourage people to open a savings account, at least not their long-term savings, with their primary bank. Because what you do when you get broke, you transfer that money right into checking. So you need to create a barrier to keep yourself from overspending if that's a habit that you have. So I suggest putting at least 1,000 of it aside as savings for a rainy day. On top of that, I would see, what is their pain point? So when you got this money, did you need it to pay bills? If that's the case, then your budget needs to be tweaked. So I would encourage that person to look at what they could do to either earn more money or what they could pay off to free up money debt-wise. So step 2 would depend on the person. That could be if you need to increase your revenue. Could you start a business with the other $3,000? Could you hire a career coach or get your resume reviewed? Could you maybe do that LinkedIn premium? Could you buy yourself a new suit? If you're trying to get a promotion at work, have you had a talk about getting a raise with your job? That's something you can do without spending any money, right? So if you have a business already, maybe you could spend that on strategically placed advertisements, Facebook ads. Maybe you could hire a business coach, right? Those are things you could do if you needed to increase your income. If you have a lot of debt, then I would say look at the snowball method, which is when you list your debts from smallest to largest, and then you pay the minimum on everything except the smallest, and then you accelerate that payment. So you put all your extra money on that one smallest bill until it's paid off, and then you funnel all the money from that bill to the next bill.
Right.
So what you would do with the remaining, the excess of over the 1,000 would depend on what you need to do. Some people need to pay down some debt, and some people would be better served just need to increase their income. But either way, clothes, shoes, and a new car aren't going to do it. I can tell you what I would not recommend that you do with that $4,000, because then you will be broke. You'll be fly, but you'll be broke again for another year. And I think we plenty fly enough, especially in Atlanta.